Welcome to a moment in history you won't forget. March 11th, 2026, at precisely 9:15 UTC, something extraordinary occurred, something that challenges everything we know about science and physics. Imagine standing in Mumbai, Miami, or Singapore on a typical, humid, tropical day. The temperature is around 32 degrees Celsius, and it feels like any other ordinary day. But suddenly, without warning, you hear a sound, a shattering glass-like noise, and look up to see millions of tiny ice crystals falling from the sky. It's not hail, and it's not rain. It's diamond dust, microscopic ice crystals, falling from the stratosphere with precision. This isn't a simple weather event. This is something that defies every known rule of thermodynamics. Within 3 seconds, the upper atmosphere dropped in temperature by 60 degrees Kelvin, a change so dramatic that it could only be compared to the energy of more than 400 petajoules. To put that into perspective, this is more energy than the entire global nuclear arsenal being extracted from the sky in an instant. Nature does not behave this way. This is not a simple cold front moving across the planet. Something else is happening here, and it's happening far too quickly to be natural. The cause? A deep space anomaly, 3I Atlas, a seemingly harmless interstellar object that, just 60 seconds before the freeze began, triggered a high-frequency gravity wave burst, detected by NASA's Deep Space Network. Positioned 180 million kilometers beyond Mars, 3I Atlas was once thought to be a simple comet. But the data now suggests otherwise. It seems to have manipulated the thermal state of Earth's atmosphere remotely. And it didn't just send a signal or a laser, it changed the very temperature of our sky in ways that no human technology could even begin to explain. As scientists and agencies scramble to understand what's happening, NASA has labeled the phenomenon as a thermal inversion anomaly, but to me, as a physicist, it's more than that. It feels like a demonstration. 3I Atlas isn't just some passive object passing through our solar system. It's active, and we are its audience. When you analyze the data from NASA's Sentinel-6 satellite, things get even stranger. The freezing didn't occur randomly. The ice crystals didn't just fall anywhere across the globe. No, they fell in perfect latitudinal bands, 15 degrees apart. This is not a random weather event, it's geometry at work. This level of precision suggests a level of control over Earth's climate system that no comet should have, and it's making scientists rethink everything we knew about this object. If 3I Atlas can manipulate the temperature of Earth's atmosphere at will, it's not just an observer in our world, it controls our climate, it controls our weather systems, it controls our survival. If it can remove energy from our sky this easily, what else can it do? What are the long-term effects of having something like this actively engaging with our atmosphere? Now, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has observed 3I Atlas in a way that opens even more possibilities. The mechanism responsible for this phenomenon doesn't appear natural. This isn't something that could have simply happened due to some cosmic accident. There's intention here, an active, deliberate influence on Earth's atmosphere, and it's clear that we are no longer dealing with a passive rock floating through space. We are witnessing an active, intelligent system at work. As we continue to delve into the data, it becomes increasingly clear that what we're witnessing is something far beyond the capabilities of any natural phenomenon. NASA's Sentinel-6 satellite has confirmed that the freezing of Earth's upper atmosphere wasn't just random, it followed a specific pattern. The ice crystals didn't just fall in a disorganized manner, they fell in perfect latitudinal bands, exactly 15 degrees apart. This precision is not something that would occur naturally. It suggests a highly advanced and intentional control over Earth's climate system, and this control appears to be coming from 3I Atlas. The implications of this are immense. If 3I Atlas has the ability to manipulate the temperature of Earth's atmosphere at will, it means that this object isn't just a passive visitor passing through our solar system. No, it's a power that seems to have control over weather systems, potentially even over our survival. If it can remove massive amounts of energy from our atmosphere in a matter of seconds, what else can it do? What kind of impact could it have on our world in the long term? This was further confirmed when the European Space Agency's ESA Sentinel-6 satellite, tasked with monitoring global sea levels and atmospheric pressure, detected something extraordinary: a global pressure wave. This wasn't just a minor fluctuation. The atmosphere itself seemed to compress, creating a wave that propagated across the entire globe. This synchronized global response was detected simultaneously by NASA's GDDARD Space Flight Center and the Japanese Himawari 9 satellite. What does this mean? It means that we're not dealing with some kind of random sensor error or an isolated glitch in our observations. The freeze event was real, and it wasn't limited to a specific location. This was a global manipulation of thermodynamics, and its effects were felt around the world in a coordinated manner. The fact that 3I Atlas triggered this in such a precise and controlled manner means we're dealing with a force capable of enormous influence. Now, consider this. If 3I Atlas has the power to directly alter Earth's thermal state and manipulate the pressure within our atmosphere, it could potentially be setting up a system for something far more significant. Could it be testing the limits of its control over our planet? Is it learning how to interact with Earth on an even more profound level? The data streaming in from the James Webb Space Telescope suggests that this may very well be the case. The object is no longer acting like a comet, an inert, frozen object passing through our solar system. It is behaving like something far more advanced, something capable of active engagement with our planet. The fact that 3I Atlas could manipulate Earth's atmosphere with such precision challenges everything we know about physics, and it raises more questions than it answers. What exactly is it doing, and what is its end goal? We're no longer just observing this object from a distance. We are actively witnessing the beginning of an interaction that could change everything we know about our place in the cosmos. As the hours unfold and the data continues to pour in, the scale of what's happening becomes clearer and more unsettling. After the first thermal shock wave and the immediate freeze of the upper atmosphere, the temperature pulse didn't just stop. No, it continued to unfold in a series of well-timed, synchronized events. At exactly 9:30 UTC, 15 minutes after the first freeze, a second thermal pulse hit. This time, it targeted the 30 degrees latitude lines, both north and south of the equator. At 9:45 UTC, a third pulse followed, striking the 45 degrees latitudes. What does this tell us? It tells us that what we're witnessing isn't a random event, nor is it something as unpredictable as a weather pattern. This is far more controlled. It's not just that 3I Atlas is affecting Earth's atmosphere, it's doing so with precise timing and in a mathematical sequence. Nature, as we know it, does not behave this way. Weather systems are chaotic and messy, often random in their occurrence. But 3I Atlas is pulsing energy in a way that suggests an incredibly advanced, almost mechanical precision. This brings us to something even more disturbing: the frequencies involved. The University of Tokyo's Atmospheric Physics Lab recently published an analysis revealing something extraordinary. They detected a resonance frequency of 7.83 Hz during the freeze events. Now, that number might sound familiar. It's the resonance frequency of Earth's own electromagnetic field, also known as the Schumann resonance, which essentially acts as the heartbeat of our planet. Why is this significant? It's significant because it shows that 3I Atlas didn't just affect Earth's atmosphere randomly, it specifically tuned into Earth's natural frequency. In other words, it didn't just freeze the atmosphere, it synchronized with the very rhythm of our planet. This suggests that 3I Atlas is not simply interacting with Earth's environment. It's actively engaging with Earth on a deeper, more profound level. It's not just using the environment around it, it's manipulating the very forces that govern our planet's natural state. Think about the level of sophistication required to pull this off. To target specific bands of the atmosphere while leaving others untouched, to tune into Earth's natural resonance with such precision, this is technology we can't even dream of yet. Humans can cool atoms in labs with lasers, but 3I Atlas didn't just cool a few atoms, it froze entire sections of Earth's atmosphere with no apparent external energy source. The scale of this manipulation is staggering, and it raises even more urgent questions. How is this possible? And more importantly, why? The object is clearly capable of affecting Earth in ways that we can't yet explain. But it doesn't stop there. The precision of this object's actions suggests that it is far more than just an interstellar rock passing through our solar system. It's an entity, an active participant in the environment it's interacting with. And if it can control the atmosphere, the weather, and even synchronize with Earth's natural electromagnetic field, what else can it do? And what does it want from us? By 10 UTC, as the ice crystals continued to fall from the sky and the strange freeze persisted, a new and even more alarming phenomenon began to unfold. Observatories in Chile, analyzing the behavior of these ice clouds, made an unsettling discovery. The sunlight passing through these clouds wasn't scattering in the usual, chaotic manner we expect from natural weather events. No, instead, the sunlight was being focused as if it were being funneled through a lens. This is where things begin to get even stranger. The ice crystals in the atmosphere were not randomly shaped as we would expect from typical snowflakes. They were perfectly uniform hexagonal platelets aligned with a magnetic field, each one mirroring the next. This is not natural ice formation. These crystals were behaving more like an engineered optical system, functioning as a massive planetary-scale fiber optic cable. This created an effect that turned Earth's atmosphere into a gigantic receiving dish, capable of capturing and focusing light, energy, and potentially information. Why is this significant? Because it means that 3I Atlas wasn't just manipulating the atmosphere in a passive way. It wasn't simply cooling the air. No, it had turned the atmosphere into a lens, a tool to focus energy and information across vast distances. This wasn't some fluke event. This was deliberate. This is where the implications of the freeze start to take on a whole new meaning. With the ice crystals now aligned in a perfect grid, Earth's atmosphere had become an immense receiver, a system capable of directing and focusing energy across the planet, and at precisely 10:15 UTC, the signals began to come through. The data we're receiving suggests that 3I Atlas is no longer just an object passing by Earth, it is actively interacting with our planet. The signals coming from the ice crystals, bouncing off the layer in the sky, are not random. They are organized, structured, and they are coming from 3I Atlas. What does this mean for us? It means we are no longer dealing with a passive visitor from deep space. 3I Atlas is not merely observing our planet, it is actively installing something into Earth's atmosphere, setting up a system that we don't fully understand yet. The data suggests that this is just the beginning. What happens when this system comes online completely? What is 3I Atlas installing? Why is it doing this? Is it gathering data? Is it preparing Earth for something else? The object seems to be using our atmosphere not just as a medium, but as a tool, an instrument capable of channeling energy and information. The more we analyze the data, the more unsettling it becomes. It's not just manipulating the atmosphere, it's reshaping it, altering the way Earth interacts with the environment around it. And perhaps most chilling of all, it's doing this with such precision and control that it's clear this is not an accident. 3I Atlas is acting with purpose, and that purpose remains a mystery. We may not yet fully understand what it wants, but the fact that it's controlling the very environment around us means that whatever happens next, it will be a defining moment in human history. At 10:30 UTC, the data from the James Webb Space Telescope revealed a disturbing new twist. 3I Atlas, previously seen as a cold, inert object, was no longer reflecting sunlight as it had before. Instead, it was emitting a strange, spectral blue glow, a phenomenon typically only observed when particles are moving faster than light through a medium, such as water. But here's the catch. Space is a vacuum. There's no medium through which particles could move at that speed, so why was 3I Atlas glowing blue? The most plausible explanation is that it's absorbing the missing heat from Earth energy that was extracted from our atmosphere during the freeze. 3I Atlas seems to be acting as a quantum heat sink, drawing in the thermal energy that it removed from the atmosphere and storing it. This energy transfer, occurring across 180 million kilometers of vacuum, defies what we understand about thermodynamics, especially the inverse square law and thermal diffusion. The sheer scale and efficiency of this process are staggering. To put this in perspective, if humans were to attempt a similar feat with our current technology, we would need a laser system the size of the moon, coupled with power plants scattered across every continent. Yet 3I Atlas is achieving this on its own with an object no more than 50 kilometers wide. The efficiency of this energy transfer is terrifying, both in its scale and its implications. If 3I Atlas can extract and store this kind of energy, what does it intend to do with it? Is it gathering energy for some larger purpose? As if this wasn't alarming enough, things got even stranger. At 11 UTC, the ice crystals that had fallen from the sky began to behave in ways that defied explanation. Researchers at the Max Planck Institute, who had been studying the fallen ice, observed something remarkable. Under an electron microscope, they saw that the ice crystals were not random. Unlike the usual chaotic formation of snowflakes, every single crystal was identical. They formed perfect hexagonal lattices with precise 60-degree angles, an extremely rare form of metastable ice that normally only exists under extreme pressure deep inside planets like Neptune. This is not natural ice. It should have shattered or melted at sea level, but it remained stable, defying the laws of physics as we know them. The probability of the entire upper atmosphere flash freezing into this rare high-pressure state without external manipulation is near zero. The question is, who or what could have manufactured this ice? Why would 3I Atlas need to create such a unique and stable form of ice in the Earth's atmosphere? The more we analyze what's happening, the more we realize that 3I Atlas isn't just passing through our solar system, it's actively interacting with our planet, reshaping the environment, and potentially setting the stage for something far more significant. By creating these structured ice crystals, 3I Atlas has essentially built a planetary-scale antenna array, and this array isn't just gathering information, it's channeling energy from the solar wind, focusing it through the ice lens and directing it into Earth's crust. At 11:15 UTC, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, HAARP, in Alaska detected a resonance signal bouncing off the new ice layer. The frequency was precisely 28 MHz, the exact resonance frequency of hydrogen, the fundamental element of the universe. The signal wasn't coming from Earth. It was coming from 3I Atlas, passing through the ice layer and penetrating deep into the planet's crust. This isn't an attack, it's a scan. 3I Atlas is using the ice crystals as a tool to perform deep Earth tomography, looking for something beneath our feet. But here's where things get even more concerning. At 11:45 UTC, the signal changed. It became more focused, more specific, zeroing in on a location in the South Atlantic anomaly, a region of Earth's magnetic field that was once thought to be simply a weak spot. But the data we're receiving suggests that 3I Atlas doesn't see it as a weak spot at all. It's targeting this area, and the energy readings coming from it are beginning to rise. If this object can freeze our atmosphere to create a scanning system, what happens when it uses that energy for something else? At 12 UTC, a dramatic shift occurred. The South Atlantic anomaly, a region near the coast of Brazil, lit up on every radiation monitor on the planet. But the radiation wasn't coming from space, it was coming from below. A localized magnetic spike of 50,000 nanotesla was detected rising from the ocean floor. This isn't a natural geological event. It's not a volcano. It's an active, high-energy magnetic source turning on. We are witnessing something unprecedented, something that may change everything we know about our planet. The signal we're receiving from the ocean floor isn't just noise anymore. It's structured. It has a pattern. It's a countdown. The pulse rate is increasing, 0.5 Hz, 0.6 Hz, 0.7 Hz. It's building towards something, and we don't know what that something is. At 12:30 UTC, the energy efficiency jumped from 40% to 85%. The ice crystals in the sky realigned again, rotating by another 3 degrees. The beam tightened, and the signal strength doubled. 3I Atlas is adapting. It's learning. It's optimizing its energy transfer, and if this continues, the amount of energy being pumped into Earth's crust will exceed the total energy output of human civilization for an entire year. What happens when you inject that much energy into an unstable fault line? Earthquakes? Magnetic pole shifts? A planetary reboot? Authorities are already preparing for something massive. The U.S. Navy has issued warnings, grounding flights, and moving naval assets. They know what we're up against, and they're bracing for impact. The clock is ticking, and we are running out of time. Whatever 3I Atlas is, it's getting closer to whatever it's been setting up, and we are no longer in control.